Hello, it's Mr. Jones from Geography, and we're going to look through how can we use the rainforest sustainably. So, from the previous lessons, you've heard a lot of negativity over deforestation. The matter is, though, that we do need it. It isn't as simple as completely wiping it out and saying deforestation is bad, we are never going to cut down a tree again. But we have seen the problems it caused, so what we've got to think is how can we do it sustainably. So in this lesson, all of you will activate your prior knowledge relating to the importance of the rainforest. Most of you will be able to independently form an opinion on the best sustainable solution for forest management, and some of you will be able to justify that opinion in good detail. Sustainable management. It's allowing something to continue, in this case making money from the rainforest, without causing damage to people or the environment. So as I said previously, we understand that we need deforestation. So how can we do it without causing damage to people or the environment? In this lesson, we're going to look at different ways and different methods that we can sustainably manage deforestation. Please take a second to pause the video and copy this down, and then press resume when you're ready to go. Okay, so you'll need a full page for this. This is the table you're going to use today. So we've got your prior knowledge, why do we need to protect the rainforest, afforestation, agroforestry and rainforest corridors, selective logging and timber elephants, education, and then finally opinion. What do you think Brazil should do? So, the first task I have for you is to draw this table in your book. A5 or A4, you will need a full page. Maybe with A5 you want to move into 2 pages, depending on the size you're writing, but A4 definitely use a full page. Once you've done that, you need to complete the prior knowledge. In here it can be in a bullet point format. Why do we need to protect the rainforest? So please pause the video and get on with that task, and when you're ready, press resume. Okay, so you should have this table in your book, and you should have your APK here. You can refer back to the issues deforestation has with animals and destroying habitats leading to extinction, the effect it has on indigenous tribes, and the effect it has on the nutrient and water cycle. If you can't remember this, look back in your book and you should have some clear points there to add. So today we're going to be using different sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, to fill in these next 4 tables. I've added the sources to this PowerPoint, so there's nothing below the PowerPoint. You'll be able to go through step by step. So the first one you'll find is agroforestry and rainforest corridors. People grow crops to sell for profit, not to eat. They're called cash crops. A lot of the Brazilian industry and economy is cocoa, banana, soybeans, for example, and the Brazilian people need it to live. The idea is, how can we maintain the habitats? How can we maintain the nutrient and water cycle, but people can still make a living? In this resource, you will have to read through the words and work out how agroforestry and rainforest corridors work. For example, the rainforest corridors make sure that one part of the rainforest is still connected to another. Why is this a good thing? Animals can move from different areas. You're not completely cutting one cycle off from the other. Okay, so please have a read through this. There are 2 images that accompany it to give you an idea how the rainforest crops work. So please pause the video and fill in that box. If you need any help, please contact through Teams and leave a space. Please pause the video and get through with that first box, and then resume when you're ready for the next one. So you're filling in agroforestry and rainforest corridors. Okay, So you've finished your first box, you've got 3 more to go. We're now going to look at the argument for afforestation. People will clear the rainforest for one reason or another. It's almost impossible to stop it. We police it. We try and put laws in place. We try and put different movements and different protests to control it, but it's going to happen. So the process of afforestation is the idea that if they're cutting down these trees, once they're moved, we can then replant. If you look through this source, it's going to give you some ideas on how afforestation can be the positive and sustainable method to repair the damage that's been made. It will refer to the carbon cycle, which we haven't looked too much into, but a carbon sink is anything that holds onto carbon, and as we know, trees through photosynthesis breathe in carbon and store it, and they breathe out the oxygen. So please read through these paragraphs and use the images that are attached, such as replanting sapling tree. Sapling means starting tree, baby tree. And can you please fill in the box under afforestation? So pause the video and resume when you're ready. Okay, so you've resumed the video. You should be done with afforestation. We are now going to move on to selective logging and timber elephants. This is the idea that rather than deforest areas like this and just clear whole areas for the trees you want, selective logging means only taking trees of age and size to make sure there are enough trees left to keep a species going and continue the nutrients cycle and water cycle. So it takes away that needless clearing of all the area, and people will only go in and cut down trees that are available or the trees that they need. There's many different options they have here, such as elephants and cows to be used to collect timber. This is a much better option than using machinery. 1, because of expense, and 2, because it will help fight against climate change. With all the machinery you use, all the fossil fuels that are being burnt, the amount of CO2 that is released into the air and then not taken in by the trees can be taken away slightly by using the animals instead of the machinery. Please pause the video at this point and fill in the box that says selective logging and timber elephants. Okay, so you should have the selective logging and timber elephants filled in. We're now going to do the one but final box. The last one is education. So education is all about educating people about the rainforest, all these different techniques, how important the rainforest can be, and what jobs they can find instead. The rainforest builds its jobs that are very easy for people to do. They're low-skill jobs, and the opportunities are wide and vast because there is so much deforestation. So many people in Brazil grow up and go into these jobs without a clear education. If we started to educate people and educate children from young, they will grow up understanding how important the tropical rainforest is to the environment and to the world on a global scale. The damage it can cause to habitat loss, species extinction, destruction of the nutrient and water cycle, the methane from the cows adding to global warming, they'd be less likely to carry on causing the damage if they knew this. So the point is, how can we increase education? Is that a sustainable method? Please pause the video and can you fill in the box that stands education? When you are finished, press resume and I'll explain what you need to do for the final box. Okay, welcome back. So, there's photos you could have looked at from Save the Heart of the Amazon. Here is an education class and classes on the tropical rainforest. What I would like you to do now, you've used all these resources and your sheet should be full of sentences in here and all the different sustainable methods. Finally, I'd like your opinion. Like I said, if your handwriting will fit in that area, please use it. If not, you can use the next page. What do you think Brazil should do? So we've got 4 different options here. all of you will be able to pick an option. So it could be afforestation, agroforestry, education, or selective logging. I want you to pick the best method. Which one to you is the most sustainable method? A reminder what sustainable method, allowing something to continue, so the money is important, but they're not going to cause damage to people or the environment. So in this box, you are going to give your opinion. Most of you will be able to back that opinion up. So I need evidence on why, for example, education is the best option. This could be at people will understand young and the next generation moving up will be able to bring in the process and help us decrease needless deforestation and help our methods become more sustainable. It might be the selective logging and timber elephants. It might be the afforestation, the idea that we can then replace any areas that we take, bringing back these carbon sinks and helping us rebuild habitats and helping us fight against climate change. Some of you will be able to then tell me why you didn't choose another one. For example, you might not have chose education because you need the change now. And education would mean in the future, if you're educating children, it means we have to wait to the next generation before it calms down. You might not say selective logging and timber elephants wasn't a good option because of the time it would take, because of the demand for the product. If you're selective logging, it's going to take a lot longer. If you're waiting for a tree to age and the demand is really high to get that wood, you're going to have problems. Timber elephants are fantastic to use, but they're not going to be as efficient as machinery. So, all of you need to give your opinion on what the best will be and why. Some of you can go into detail on why that is the best sustainable method. Tell me why it's so sustainable for now and for the future. And then if you want to push yourself, pick one of these sustainable management techniques and tell me why you didn't choose it. So the future, education, the time it will take, the time it takes with timber elephant, selective logging, again, time and price of afforestation, rainforest corridors, accessibility, so there won't be the same opportunity to create roads back and forth these deforestation areas. Will people be able to have a large enough farm using the agroforestry method? These are the things you need to critically think about. Thank you for listening. The sources are still there. You can move the video at any time to check any of the photos or add more points if you can't choose between two. Thank you for listening again. I will see you next lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.